All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever had that feeling you know you're capable, you know you're smart, but something just holds you back? Maybe it's a hesitation, a fear of speaking up, that feeling of just being invisible sometimes. Well, today we're going to dig into where that comes from and, way more importantly, how to actually overcome it. We'll do it through this really powerful story about what confidence truly is.
And wow, this quote really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Without that inner compass, that self-belief, it's so easy to feel lost, kind of purposeless. You feel like you're just being carried along by whatever life throws at you, instead of actually steering your own ship. It's a feeling I think a lot of us know. So how does this even happen? How do we get stuck in this trap of self-doubt? Let's unpack it with a story that breaks it all down perfectly. And it all starts with two brothers. Okay, so picture this. In a busy city, there's a salt merchant who has two sons. The younger one? He's a firecracker, lively, confident, always getting praised by everyone. But the older son, our main character here, he was the complete opposite. He was shy, hesitant, and because he was quiet, people just assumed he was foolish, which, well, it made him an easy target. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because this became a total self-fulfilling prophecy. His own father, who was disappointed by his shyness, would just scold him, harshly, and that constant criticism completely shattered the boy's confidence. This made him even more afraid, which of course led to more mistakes, and well, you see it, right? A terrible, vicious cycle. So this cycle just kept going and going until he became a young man, and that's when one single event, one mistake, made his entire world just collapse. This was it. This was his breaking point. One day his dad was out of town and these cunning men show up at the shop. They spin this whole story, claiming his father sent them to pick up all the salt. And the young man, he's just paralyzed by that same old fear and hesitation. He doesn't ask a single question. And just like that, they took everything. So when his father comes back to a completely empty shop, his rage is just absolute. He screams these devastating words at his son and just casts him out. You know, this wasn't just another scolding. This was total and complete rejection. And he was just broken. The young man felt completely worthless. That shame was choking him. In his mind, he was a failure, and he would always be a failure. And with that thought, he walked to the river, totally convinced there was no point in even living anymore. But right at that moment, just as he's about to give up everything, a hand grabs him. It's an old man who saw his despair. And this moment, this single intervention, was the turning point that would change his entire life. The old man didn't just save his life. He offered him a totally different way of looking at things. He told the young man that failure wasn't the end of the road. It was just part of a much longer journey, a journey toward finding out what he was really made of. For the first time, the young man saw this tiny glimmer of hope, so he listened. And the wise old man makes him an offer. He says, "Follow my instructions for 3 days. If you complete 3 specific tasks, I promise you, your life will change." The young man, with literally nothing left to lose, agreed. So, what was this magical, life-changing advice? Well, here's the thing. It wasn't a magic spell. It wasn't some big secret. It was a series of real, concrete, actionable steps designed to rebuild him from the inside out. All right, here was the challenge. Day 1, face his fear of people and speak to 10 strangers. Day 2, face his fear of not being good enough and teach something, anything, to 10 children. And finally, Day 3, face his biggest, most terrifying fear of all. Go home and apologize to his father. And even though he was terrified, he started. Some people blew him off, sure, but he kept trying until he had spoken to 10 strangers. Then he taught the kids 5 simple benefits of drinking water. And here's the crucial part. With each small, completed task, he felt something incredible happen. That fear was actually starting to fade away. He'd done it. Finally, it was Day 3. This was the final boss, right? The ultimate test. He took every ounce of courage he had built up over the last 2 days, he walked home, and he humbly apologized to his father. And his father, seeing this genuine change in him, gave him another chance. So the young man goes back to the mentor, totally ready for the final secret. But it turns out the secret was something he had already found for himself. So what is the real secret to unlocking your own confidence? The first lesson is, we have to totally redefine what confidence even is. It's not about being fearless. Real confidence is feeling the fear, looking it right in the eye, and taking action anyway. That's where true strength is born. The wise old man just smiled and explained that the secret wasn't something he could ever give him. It was something the young man had to build for himself. See, his problem was never actually shyness or being weak. It was letting fear be the one in the driver's seat.
And this right here, this is the final brilliant piece of the puzzle. When the young man started acting with intention, talking to strangers, teaching kids, facing his dad, how other people saw him changed, because how he saw himself had changed. If you project confidence, the world starts to believe you. So let's just boil this all down. What are the big takeaways from this whole journey? First, and this is huge, confidence is a skill you build, not something you're just born with. Second, action is the single best cure for fear, period. And the way to get started is with small, easy wins that build your momentum. Facing your fears one little step at a time is how you unlock the strength that's been inside you all along.
That once shy boy, by the way, went on to become a really well-known and respected businessman. His whole life changed, not because someone gave him a secret, but because he took action. So that leaves us with one last really important question to think about. What is one small, manageable step you can take today to act in spite of your fear?